an open call to action in response to the current crime situation in the Bahamas as it stands at February 28th, 2024. Policymakers from all political divides, leaders in civil society, including the church, parents, corporate citizens, law enforcement, and international partners in the building of the nation of the Bahamas. We all agree that the current level of crime in our beautiful nation, renowned for its stunning landscapes and vibrant culture, threatens our individual and collective safety, security, and prosperity. But as a faith walker, I embrace hope because I believe that together we can forge a path forward towards a safer and more resilient Bahamas, whether we do it directly in country, indirectly from beyond the shores. We all agree that we must acknowledge the gravity of the current crime situation. It permeates our communities, disrupting lives, destroying families, and undermining the very fabric of our society. But we cannot afford to be passive observers in the face of this menace. We must act and act decisively to address the root causes of crime and to build a future where every Bahamian can thrive. To achieve this vision, we must embrace a multifaceted approach that engages every sector of our society simultaneously. The government plays a vital and pivotal role in this endeavor. We must strengthen our law enforcement agencies, providing them with the resources, training, and support they need to effectively combat crime. We must also reform our judicial system, ensuring that justice is swift, fair, and accessible to all. But our efforts cannot stop there. We must invest in rehabilitation and reintegration programs for offenders, giving them a chance to turn their lives around and once again become productive members of society. As we navigate the intricate web of crime in the Bahamas, it's essential to recognize that its roots extend far beyond the visible manifestations on our streets. Crime isn't merely a product of individual actions. It thrives in the fertile soil of systemic corruption and social inequality. Much like a festering wound, corruption within government, public service, and corporate sectors eats away at the fabric of our society, leaving scars of injustice and despair in its wake. Just as a violent crime takes a life, corrupt practices and nepotism rob individuals of opportunity, dignity, and ultimately their livelihoods. Moreover, the insidious belief that political affiliation or religious association can serve as a shield against accountability perpetuates a dangerous mentality akin to gang membership, where allegiance to a group supersedes principles of integrity and justice. As in gang culture, loyalty to a group overrides ethical considerations and leads to the marginalization of those deemed outsiders. We must confront the stark reality that our current approach to governance and policy making often exacerbates rather than alleviates social ills. Political leaders wield immense influence in shaping the trajectory of our nation. Yet, too often, Decisions are made with short term gains in mind rather than the long term well being of our citizens. We cannot continue to prioritize profit over people, nor our political leaders and their agendas can afford to turn a blind eye to the plight of the marginalized in our society. It is incumbent upon our political leaders to enact policies that reflect the values of fairness, inclusivity, and compassion. This means holding foreign investors and all corporate citizens accountable for fair wages and labor practices, ensuring that parents have the opportunity to prioritize family over financial struggles, and investing in programs that provide our youth with alternatives to gang involvement by redirecting our resources towards preventive measures rather than reactive ones. We can address the root causes of crime and create a society where every individual has the opportunity to thrive. But the government cannot tackle this challenge alone. We need the support of the church, the moral compass of our communities. The church has a unique role to play in promoting values of respect, empathy, and nonviolence, and providing support and guidance to at risk youth. Through community outreach programs, counseling services, and mentorship initiatives, the church can help steer individuals away from a life of crime and towards a path of redemption and renewal. Sadly, we no longer attend churches in the communities we live in. More often than not, we drive some distance to worship and then return home, and that has reduced the direct role the church once played. But the church has to leave the four walls and even the airwaves and reach the people where they are at. These are times where it's important for people to feel and believe they are seen and heard. Trust in each other and our support system has to be restored and hope restored. The church is divinely equipped for this when its agenda aligns with the intention, ways, and mind of God. To confront these ingrained issues, we must first acknowledge the fallacy of expecting divine intervention to solve our earthly problems while neglecting our responsibility to embody godly principles in our daily lives. Treating prayer as a transactional exchange where we expect God to fulfill our wishes like a waiter in a restaurant is a grave misunderstanding of faith and God. True spirituality calls us to align our actions with divine values of justice, compassion, and righteousness, rather than using religion as a cloak to conceal our moral failings. National prayers and any corporate body of prayer is meaningful, but the posture of our hearts and intentions must transcend the pomp and pageantry with a creation needing the intervention of the Creator is most important on the agenda. How do we even gather for prayer and not have any public declaration of what thus saith the Lord? Isn't the whole purpose to get an answer from the Lord? It is written, He will do nothing without first revealing it to His prophets. And if we are serious about getting a solution, make provision for tarrying and unbox God from the schedule to get back to business as usual. What we are facing as a nation cannot be handled like other check off the box and keep it moving situations. The old tools will not work in this situation. In the same way, parents must be empowered to take an active role in the shaping the future of their children. We must strengthen family structures through parenting workshops and support services and encourage open communication between parents and children. By fostering strong bonds within families, we can create a protective shield against the lure of criminality and provide our youth with the love, guidance, and support they need to succeed. Corporate citizens also have a vital role to play in this endeavor by providing employment opportunities, vocational training, and internships for disadvantaged youth. They can offer a pathway out of poverty and despair. Moreover, through corporate social responsibility initiatives focused on crime prevention and youth empowerment, they can invest in the future of our nation and contribute to building safer and more prosperous communities for all. Finally, we must not forget the diplomatic and migrant communities whose collaboration is essential in addressing cross border crime and improving information sharing mechanisms. By strengthening border security measures and providing support for migrants, we can reduce vulnerability to exploitation and involvement in criminal activities, creating a safer and more secure Bahamas for all. Of course, none of these efforts would be possible without the dedication and sacrifice of our law enforcement officers. They are the frontline defenders of our safety and security, risking their lives every day to keep us safe. We must support them in their mission, providing them with the resources, training, and respect they deserve. But we must also recognize that policing alone is not enough. We need to build trust and cooperation between law enforcement and the communities they serve through community engagement programs, neighborhood watch initiatives, and youth outreach events. In conclusion, let us all heed with humility and resolve this call to action, recognizing that eradicating crime requires a multifaceted approach that extends beyond surface level solutions. Let us harness the collective power of government, the church, parents, corporate citizens, law enforcement, diplomatic and migrant communities to create a legacy of peace, prosperity, and hope for generations to come. May God continue to bless the Bahamas.